Jujutsu Kaisen is certainly a series of all time, and currently it is factually the most popular anime series on the fucking planet right now, as per the Guinness Book of Records.
Sometimes you gotta close the door to open a window.
However, Jujutsu Kaisen can't last forever, and I know. The series it's slowly coming to an end, and I thought I would make a video to recommend some other manga series for you if you like Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, to be quite frank with you, there is no prerequisite for these recommendations. They are based on art style, similar tones, and characters I think deserve more love, and something that I can use my platform for to share around. Now, I guarantee you've more than likely heard of all of these series, and if you haven't heard of any of these series, then you've probably living under a rock. Kagura Bachi. Now, you've more than likely heard of Kagura Bachi through the memes. Good lord, the meme when this singular image dropped was insane. Everyone and their mothers was getting in on this meme. But time has passed and we are about to hit 32 chapters of Kagura Bachi, and a second volume just released that is flying off the shelves like hotcakes, and it is fresh. But what's it about? Simply put, it is a revenge story inspired by Batman, Kill Bill, Naruto, John Wick, and God knows what other Western massive culture shift that you could think of has gone into this manga. Oh, that's not enough? Yeah, it's got characters that have deep layers, an art style that is both unique and sublime. Like, seriously, the choreography in these fights and the angles that Takeru Hokuzono is able to capture is genuinely surreal. It is awe-inspiring, and also it has Sojo. You might not know about him, you might not have heard of him, but for a series that has 31 chapters, this dude is one of the best parts of the series. And I'm not joking when I say my personal theory is that this dude genuinely carried the hard success over the series so far. So yeah, I hard recommend Kagura Bachi. It's still early doors, it's very enjoyable, a mysterious power system and fights that will simply blow your mind, coupled with a mysterious story that is yet to unravel. Very worth the read. Chojun X. Now, admittedly, I am so far behind this series, it is insane right now. However, my lackadaisical attitude aside, Chojun X has an incredible art style and a story, and its world is something that I can only describe as very different. It is an acid trip of a story, and it's also made by the author of Tokyo Ghoul, Sui Ishida. Confession time, I still have yet to read that series. Please don't hate me. You can tell me how much you hate me in the comments down below for that one, because honestly, it's a manga YouTuber. I haven't read Tokyo Ghoul. We all have those dark secrets, and that's one of mine. I do have the first volume over there, but I just haven't read it yet. However, the story centers around Tokyo, a high schooler in a world filled with Chojuns, and which is this world's power system. The type of power you get when you become a Chojun is utterly random. It's kind of like devil fruits. That's kind of what I liken it to in One Piece. And for example, this dude is a baseball man, and also everyone is on fire. This is the first chapter. This is everyone on fire in the first chapter. Now, when I first read this series, I did find it hard to get into, but once I got past chapter 20, I was invested, and it's a read that has mystery, stunning artwork, and a story and symbology that has spawned a whole cult following. However, the only downside so far is that Sui Ishida releases when and if he feels like, which is a plus for him given current mangaka working conditions, but a con for you if you get hooked on this series. Blue Lock. Blue Lock is a manga that I recently read, and I have to say, a dude who could give less of a fuck about football. Blue Lock gripped me by the balls, by the short and curlies, and took me on a ride that I don't think I'd ever expect. I loved every minute. What is it about? Well, I'm glad you asked. Blue Lock is a manga about schizophrenic football hooligans, some of which see literal demons. I mean, this dude is a main character called Isagi, and he's essentially the Sherlock Holmes of the football pitch here. This guy is the most sassy, murderous football player I have ever witnessed, and I mean it when I say they literally tied this man up like fucking Hannibal Lecter. Look at this dude. He is caged like an animal right here. Anyway, the artwork for this series, it's phenomenal, and it's filled with passion and heart, and it really brings the story to the next level. And on top of this, there is serious character development that happens. There's plot twists and stakes that happen within the series. It's not just main character wins and grows constantly. There is defeat, there is triumph, there is depression, there is betrayal, and there is this beautiful masterpiece now that just sits within my top 5 of all time, which, by the way, my top 5 looks like this. So take that as you will. Those are some Goliath series to put up within my top 5 right there. Dandadan. Now, Dandadan is a manga that I personally believe has one of, if not some of the best artwork in the weekly Shonen Jump current lineup. Yukinobu Tatsu is simply a genius with the pen, and not only just the art front, but the story as a whole. Horror? You got it. Romance? You got it. Fights? You got it. Kaiju? You fucking got it. Testicles? You don't got them though. They're gone. Yeah, they're gone. Yeah, this story centers around Okurun and Momo, two high schoolers who one believes in ghosts and the other believes in aliens, while both simultaneously denying that the opposite exists. It creates this interesting dynamic where it turns out that they actually do exist, and this results in some hijinks, resulting in Okurun's balls simply just falling off, floating away, and disappearing, and essentially becoming the power source for a majority of the villains that they fight. The base premise of this entire story is about Okurun just simply getting his balls back, and if you're a dude, then I'm sure you can relate. I'm sure if you woke up one day and your balls were gone, I'm sure you'd probably try and fight some demons to get them back too. But the series has a lot of range. It tackles a lot of themes within the story: romance, self-improvement, loss, depression, and more, and it handles these themes with beautiful precision. And to top it all off, we are blessed with a will they, won't they subplot, and it's just amazing. These two characters, Okurun and Momo, are severely underrated. I think that those characters don't get the love that they deserve. Again, similar to Chojun, this series has a cult following, and the guy that writes and draws this was a former assistant of Fujimoto. So if you like Chainsaw Man, then chances are you will more than likely like Dandadan. It is phenomenal, and also it's getting an anime this year, so I'm very, very excited for this. I'm very excited to see Dandadan finally get pushed into the mainstream. I think that that will really blow up the manga. It is just over 100 chapters deep now, so yeah, it's very, very exciting. Good night, Pun Pun. Now, some of you may or may not have heard of this series. It is a seinen manga written by Inio Asano, and it follows Pun Pun Onodera through his formative teenage years, and it takes you through the world of Pun Pun, and the only way I can describe this is pure and captivating depression. Yeah, I know you're a Jujutsu Kaisen fan and you love suffering. Suffering builds character. Suffering builds character. Suffering builds character. However, Goodnight Pun Pun, after my read through, it had me sat at my desk like this. I'm not lying when I say I took a break from picking up any new series after the fact of reading this series for about 2 months because I just simply needed a break. This work is truly something special. Inio crafted something truly unique, and even down to the art style being somewhat hyper-realistic while also having Pun Pun look like a literal chicken moving throughout this world. And I would love to be able to give a summary of the story, but plainly said, there is no way I can do that, and I think I would be doing the story itself a disservice by trying to put it into such a small video format. Just know it tells the story of a group of childhood friends whose fates are completely and utterly intertwined in a series of the most captivating and twisted events I think I've ever read out of a manga. And yes, I have read Berserk before you even point at me and say, oh, have you read this manga? Have you read that manga? Yeah, I more than likely have read them, but the difference between those manga that you're talking about and this manga that I'm talking about is, like Berserk, the horrors and the stuff that happens within Berserk, it is more of an eldritch, fantastical horror. That's the kind of vibe it has about it. But the horror that hides within Pun Pun is more human, and it hides in plain sight. Sakamoto Days. Last on this list is Sakamoto Days, a manga that has found itself gaining more and more popularity due to its insane artwork and incredibly well choreographed fights. In my opinion, this manga has the best fights overall within the current weekly Shonen Jump lineup, bar none. It has no equal when it comes to fights within this series. Sakamoto Days follows the story of Mr. Taro Sakamoto, a retired assassin from the JAA who is now trying to live a quiet family life. However, things don't quite go to plan and he is quickly dragged back into the world of assassins. However, under the caveat and the promise of his wife that he can no longer kill anyone since retiring. If I'm honest, story-wise, it isn't anything groundbreaking. Not until the most recent chapters where a substantial plot twist was made, it made me fully lock in. It made me lean in and sit in like this. However, the story nonetheless, the characters, the interactions, and the world itself truly make it worth reading. Not to mention the fights. Did I mention the fights? Yeah. The fights are something special. Sakamoto Days is truly a series of all time, and I don't know when it's getting an anime, but when it does get an anime, it will take it to a Hall of Fame, because even just the bare minimum scuffles with this, the choreography is insane. Anyway, those are some manga recommendations for you if you are a Jujutsu Kaisen fan. They're all pretty mainstream, pretty easily accessible. Let me know in the comments below if you've read or will read any of these, and also drop some recommendations for me. I'm always open to read new series down below, as long as it's not Boruto. Never Boruto. Anyways, that's everything from me. Be sure to like and subscribe. Go drink some water. Go tell someone you fucking love them. And as always, I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Much fucking love. Big fucking kisses. Peace.